Hi guys, welcome back. This is Professor Hank, and in this video, I am going to talk to you about just checking your assignment real quick. Can you just check it for me real quick? I'm not 100% sure. Can you just take a look at it really quick? And tell me if I'm doing it right. Can you just take a look at my code real quick? Can you see where we're going with this? um, that's a question that is annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's annoying, right? Um, for a couple of reasons, I wanted to talk to you about this. It seems a reasonable question on its face, right? And from your point of view as a student, yeah, I mean, you're not sure. This is all brand new to you. Um, you're not exactly sure if you got it right. I'll just ask my professor real quick. Am I doing this right? Does this look right? So, just a couple of things I want to say about that. I want to bring up about that. When you say that, right? You say those words. What I hear is, "Will you grade this for me, really quick? Will you pre-grade this for me? Can you? Because that's what you're trying to do, right? You want to know if you're going to get a good grade on it. Is this 20 points? Is this a perfect score? Can you grade this for me real quick? Can you pre-grade it for me? Can you grade it multiple times for me?" That's what I'm hearing. And most of the time when people send me that question, my first response is, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I don't have time to grade things multiple times or to pre-grade stuff for you." And I don't. Grading homework. It sucks. It's the worst part of the job, right? I mean, the best part of this job is interacting with students, lecturing, getting paid to talk about nerdy stuff all day. Answering people's questions about stuff. But for you to ask me to check your code for you before you turn it in, you're asking me to grade your stuff before I grade it for you. I don't have the bandwidth to do it. I just don't. Because, as I said in the previous video, I got 200 plus students. Right? If I had 200 students coming up to me every week going, "Hey, can you just check my code? Hey, can you just check this for me real quick? Hey, is this good? Is this going to get me 20 points? Is it?" I would never get anything else done. There's no way. I wouldn't be able to do lectures. I'd be spending all my time just telling people, "No, go fix this, go fix that, go fix this other thing here. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong." Okay, that's one thing. Um, Another thing is that when it comes to computer programming, computer science, software engineering, learning all that stuff. Part of the assignment is requirements analysis, okay? And requirements analysis is quite possibly the most important part of the entire thing, right? So, when I'm giving you a homework assignment, or when I give my students a homework assignment, I lay out in great detail. Your program should do this. 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 You must use this tool, this tool, this tool, and this tool. And so the first part of your homework assignment is to understand that, right? Is to analyze what the problem is. That's part one. Part two is come up with a solution. And then part three is to implement that solution, right? Write the source code, turn it into homework assignment, whatever. So, when you ask me, is this right? My first impression is, did you read the freaking requirements? Right? Did you? I told you what to do. Did you read them? And a lot of times you don't. People don't. Because there's so many times where I'm leaving feedback for homework assignments, and I'm like, "Well, what about this? You forgot to do this thing. Why didn't you do this? It's requirement number 3. Did you just not read this?" Vast majority of the time, people lose points on tests or on assignments or whatever because they don't read the freaking requirements, right? So a lot of times when people, they ask me that question, I answer it this way. So, I'm not going to ignore you. I'm not going to, I answer any question that's sent to me. Unless you're asking for a grade you didn't earn, I ignore those. But, I just read the requirements back to you. And I say, does your program do this? Does it do this? Does it do this? And vast majority of the time, people go, yeah. I'm like, then it's correct. Then what are you asking me to check your code for you for? What are you asking me to check this for you? Right? If you analyze the requirements and then you wrote a program that does what I asked you, it's going to be correct. Right? That's all there's to it. So, read the requirements and do what I ask. Right? Give me what I asked for. That's basically it. Um, so, and not only that, but I mean, if you were to write your code, see, this also sets you up for this, right? I have reasons for my madness. I have. It's not just that's an annoying question, but it's also the fact that even more important is the fact that you should be confident in the work that you did, right? So if you read the requirements, you understood the material we covered that week, and you write a program that you think satisfies the requirements, and you get marked down for something, and you're like, no, I did that. I really, 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 I did that. I satisfy that requirement. Student comes to my office hours, you come to my office hours, and you're like, no, I satisfy the requirement because A, B, and C, and here's why it satisfies it. More often than not, we'll go, you're right, or we'll have some discussion about it, and I'll explain to you and clarify for you, why it didn't satisfy the requirements. But the vast majority of the time, if you got that wrong, or a huge part of the time, what I'm hoping for is that you'll come back and say, no, it is right, and here's why I think it's right, and so we can have some back and forth, right? If all you're doing is writing some code and you're not sure what I'm asking for, and you're not sure if it's right, you're coming back and going, is this right? Does this look good? Does this look? You don't know what the fuck you're doing. I shouldn't use that for it. You don't know what you're doing, right? You didn't take the time to go through and understand what the material was, understand what the requirements were, understand what I was asking you for. You didn't learn anything that week. You didn't learn jack, right? And so you're trying to take a shortcut. And even if you came back, I marked you down, we couldn't even have a discussion. You wouldn't be able to argue with me as to why you think you deserve those points. You couldn't give any justification, any reason. Right? All the code that you write, there should be a reason for it. Why you wrote the code that way, what requirement it satisfies. Otherwise, what you're doing, or a lot of times what happens, is that students just copy and paste code out of the textbook, whatever, modify it so it does something. They're not sure what the hell it's doing or what the code's for. And they come to you and they go, "Is this right?" No, you don't deserve an answer for that, right? You need to be able to come and tell me, this is right because. Right, not because you copied some code, hit compile, and it did something, and you're like, is this what you wanted? That's totally act backwards. Right? The way you develop code, or the way you develop software, the way you write programs, is step one. You understand the problem. Right? If you're asking me, is this right? You don't understand the problem. Okay. Step two, you come up with a plan. Right? If you come up to me and say, is this right? Is this a good plan? You don't understand your plan. You didn't come up with a plan. You didn't think it through. You don't know what you're trying to do. And then step three, you write the code. Right? Especially when you're brand new, or if you're inexperienced, or you never really learned anything, even by the time you're a senior, and you're asking those kind of questions, is this right? Is this right? Is this right? You've been wasting your time up to that point in your degree, as far as I can tell. So, don't ask that question. If the better question is, hey, can you clarify this requirement for me? Can you clarify what you're looking for here? I think that I'm going to be using this system call because I want to use it to write some data into this stream or something. Is that the right system call I should use for that? Those are good questions. Is this right? It's the stupidest question that I think I've ever been asked. Or not ever, but it's one of the dumbest ones up there. Because it's the totally wrong way of thinking about doing this stuff. Now let me quantify that. Let me add this to that though. Okay, if you're a freshman and this is your first computer programming class like ever, I'll I let it slide, right? I'll help people out at the beginning of the semester, right? But towards the middle, towards the end of the semester, I start shifting into this mindset that I have right now. Stop asking me that. Tell me why it's correct, right? Don't ask me if it's correct. Tell me why, right? Justify it. Have a good reason as to why it's correct. Don't guess. Don't just copy some code and hope that's right. Don't go on to like Stack Overflow and say I need help with my homework, then copy crap from somebody gave you. either from the textbook or from Stack Overflow or from some other place, when you have no idea what the code does or why it does it or why it would possibly even solve the problem that you've been given. No, you're doing it completely wrong. You're doing it completely wrong. You asked me to look at your stuff to tell you if it's right or not. No, you write the code because it's correct and you know it's correct, and then you tell me why it's correct. That's the way it should be done. I mean, especially if you're like a senior at that point, no. Anyway, so that's just something that randomly came up because every semester you always get people who ask you that question, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. To you as a student coming from a professor, asking is this right? It's an annoying question. At least it is for me. And you're totally thinking about things backwards. Questions are good. All questions are good, but understand what you're really asking there, right? You're writing your code. I mean, let me just add one more thing, okay? While I'm on this topic, I sometimes will write homework assignments that are open-ended and vague on purpose. Not totally, right? Not completely, but I want my goal is a lot of my methodology is here. Let me explain to you this concept, and then I'll go ahead and show you the tools that you would need to solve some problem using that concept, or I'll give you examples of tools that utilize that concept, and then I want to give you a problem to solve, and I want you to solve it, and I want you to show me your solution to that problem, right? If you ask me, is this right? Or if you say, I don't understand why this isn't working, or if you say, what's the best way of doing this? Can you give me a hint? You're not doing the work. You're not coming with a solution. You're not solving a problem. You're having me do it for you, right? Or you're having me help you. Software engineering, computer programming, it's about solving problems. It's about becoming a problem solver. It's about learning how to think creatively. And if all you're doing is memorizing solutions that somebody else gave you, or utilizing hints that somebody else gave you, you're wasting your time, right? You should be learning to think and solve problems, not type crap into an IDE, hit compile until it works. That's really ass backwards. So this is about getting a computer science degree is about learning how to solve problems. Yeah, so anyway, I think that's all I wanted to say about that. It's just something that was on my mind. Anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.